Natalie here for Soy and Shea, and thank you for joining me for yet another gemstone soap. Now, when I dragged hubby along into the gemstone wholesaler, he surprised me by picking out a few different sort of gemstones and rocks and the crystals, saying that he really liked certain ones and that he had them as a child. And one of the ones he picked out was Snowflake Obsidian. So I said to him to go and pick out 17 stones and I would make a soap, and that is what we're going to go and make today. Let's go. Alright, so let's jump into this one. We have got our oils and our lye water solution as always. So once again, we're pouring our lye water into our oils. I'm going to bring it just together, which is an emulsion, and then I am going to split it out for just a touch of colour. Alright, we have got our oils and our lye water brought just together there. The colours I'm using today, I have got some activated charcoal in here with just a little bit of oil just to help dissolve it a bit better. And in here I have a mix of Nimbus mica and of course some Blizzard mica, just to give that silver a little bit of shine. This is how I tend to actually mix my oil and micas together when I'm doing it. I put my mica in a bit of oil and then I just give it a bit of a shake until it all dissolves into each other. I just hadn't got round to shaking these ones there. Let's get these poured into these jugs here. And that should do. I don't want too much colour. I want this soap to be predominantly white, and then we're going to do a drop swirl through it with these two colours. Into my big bucket here, I have got some titanium dioxide, so we'll put a bit in there. We're almost to the bottom of our jar, and then, or our bottle I should say, I am going to add in this. Now this is not Blizzard. This is another one. It's called Bedazzled Mica, and it's a much bigger hex on the cut of the mica, so it does give it the shine, but it's missing one of the other ingredients, which I'll actually put on the screen because it's a big word and I don't want to mispronounce it, and that's what gives the Blizzard mica that intense shimmer. But this one still has that nice big cut, which does add a nice shimmer into the soaps. So I'm going to add a fair bit in there because I want this to come up as a nice white base with that sort of sparkly look. I'm going to get these colours mixed in here. Alright, so let's get the fragrance in here. I have decided to go with Clean Cotton. Now, it's got notes of apple, lime, ozone, lavender, musk and violet. Now, I have never soaped with it before, so I really do have my fingers crossed that it is a well-behaving fragrance. I went with this one because whenever I think of Clean Cotton, I get that sort of really clean, pure thought in my mind, and given that the Snowflake Obsidian is actually the stone of purity, I thought that was most fitting. So this stone is associated with bringing truth to mind, body and soul, and is all about balance. It is known to be a calming and soothing stone, and it helps you look outside the box when you are faced with problems and to see both sides of the story and to come up with new ideas. And I just find that Clean Cotton fragrance so relaxing and does actually help clear the mind. So that was the other reason I picked it. So the obsidian is also obsidian is the actual type of stone, and then the flakes in this, which we'll get into a bit later, is what makes it a snowflake one. But the obsidian is associated with those who dare to see, because it has a mirror-like reflection to it. The Snowflake Obsidian is actually related to the base chakra and is associated with the planet Saturn and the zodiac of Virgo, and it is a fire element, and I would say that this is because it has a lot to do with volcanoes, which again I'll get back into once we start putting the stones onto the soap. Now I've got that fragrance in there and it's smelling really good. What I'm going to do is I've got this other jug here and I'm going to pour these two in here so we get that sort of dual effect. Not too worried that it has mixed. I went quite quickly, so it's probably swirled just a little bit, but that is okay. Get these jugs scraped out and then we'll go and grab that mold. Alright, so I've got my white here, just giving it a bit of a stir to make sure I've got everything down and off the sides. I'm going to pour a majority of the white into the actual mold here. Then I'm going to do a drop swirl with those two colours. I really have taken to doing drop swirls with the two colours in the one jug. It just comes up so beautifully when you do. So I'm just going to go. I am very pleased to say that this fragrance oil is very well behaved. It's one of those things, it does actually smell quite floral, but I don't think it is a very floral sort of based fragrance, so that is why it is probably behaving so well. Now hopefully by pouring the last of that in there, it will help to give a really nice swirl to that drop. I'm going to get this bucket scraped out. I am then going to have to wait probably about 10-15 minutes for the top of this one to firm up, and then we're going to come back and do a bit of a spoon top on the top of here before we start putting our Snowflake Obsidian onto the top. Alright, so let's see if this is ready to be played in. It has been sitting here for about half an hour, so if anyone is interested in how well the clean cotton behaves and have been putting it off because of its very floral notes, it's safe to say that in my recipe it behaves very, very well, which is good news because it's one of those fragrances I've always wanted to soak with and have ideas for it, but always put it off because I didn't want my idea to be ruined by a fast accelerating soap. So I'm really pleased to know just how well this one behaves. So we're going to put a nice little spoon top down the side of each of this one. Then I've just realized I've managed to pick up the only wooden mold out of the 4 of them I have that doesn't have any markings on it. So I'm going to just very quickly put my markings on here so I know exactly where to put the obsidian on this one. So I chose to colour the soap mainly in white so that the black would actually stand out against the actual soap here. And the obsidian is actually black, so this black part of the stone, that is the actual obsidian, and this is just one variety. Obsidian is actually formed from molten lava that has cooled really, really quickly, so super quick, and that's what forms it into this black shiny stone. Now the Snowflake Obsidian has what is called cristobalite, which is a mineral quartz which forms these little snowflake-like patterns. So it is actually found in volcanic areas, and a true obsidian will be black in color. So sometimes when you're buying them on some sites that are not so reputable, I won't name any on here, but they may be selling them in sort of reds, greens, blues, that sort of thing. That is not a true obsidian. Obsidian will always be black. Now these stones, or these, I won't really call them a gemstone because they're not really a gem. I'm going to refer to them as a stone. They have been used for many, many centuries, and unlike a lot of the other gemstones that we like to look at and things, they aren't very much so based on that whole sort of spiritual side of things. These are a very practical stone. The spiritual side of them is that the Mayans and the Greeks actually used to use the pure black obsidian as a form of seeing mirror, a bit like a crystal ball, so that they could actually communicate with the dead, or to see into the past and sometimes into the future. And the ancient Mexicans actually used to carve them in amulets and jewelry as also a form of communicating with their past loved ones. But these stones have very much so been used more in more for practical things, though some of those practical things do result in quite spiritual things as well. So the way in which the obsidian forms, when it breaks apart in curves and very sharp edges. And this has led it to be used for many, many centuries as arrows for your bows and arrows and spearheads. It's been used for daggers, and it is still used today to create scalpels for delicate surgery work. So this stone is still actually used a lot today for those same original purposes that they did. Now, they used to create these tools such as daggers and knives for simple food preparation, so the carving of any of the meats that they used to catch, and for, you know, carving woods and things like that. And it was also used in sacrificial daggers, and that is a lot to do with that sort of mirror sort of thing. And it has even been used for ancient tattooing tools. I don't think I would like to have a tattoo done with one of these stones, but that is just how sharp these can actually get when they are broken. So that is our Snowflake Obsidian in there, just making sure that they are all pushed in well. I do hope that you are enjoying that sort of other side to the gemstones and rocks that I actually enjoy as well. Let me know down in the comments section below if you are actually interested in that sort of more where they're from, the myths and their sort of history of the stones, or if you are just purely interested in the whole spiritual side of them. Let me bring you down for a closer look. Okay, so here is Snowflake Obsidian up close. You can really see those little snowflake sort of patterns throughout those rocks. They're just so pretty. I did put a little bit of sparkle on the top of this one as well to really represent how sparkly and gorgeous snowflakes actually are in life. I'm going to leave this one sit here overnight, and then we'll be back in just a moment to cut it open and see what sort of drop swirl we got in this one. We are now ready to cut into this Snowflake Obsidian soap here, and it is smelling so clean and pure, just like the stone of purity here. I am going to get this one all lined up. Hopefully we will miss all of those stones on there. When we were picking them out, I did say to hubby we need to try and keep them to a certain width so that I can easily cut through these ones. Really looking forward to getting this one cut to see what sort of swirls we've got. We are almost through there, and let's take a look. Alright, so let's take a look at these two on the end here and see. And look at those curly whirly swirls. It's been a little while since I've had those really curly whirly ones. I am so impressed. And look how finely detailed those little drops are in there. That is absolutely stunning. And I can see the little bits of shimmer coming through on that silver as well. Really, really pleased with these. Let's grab these next two and see what we've got just this a little bit further down here and open it up. And I am just so absolutely in love with these, just these tight little curls. They fascinate me every time I get them. I have no idea how they form because they are just so detailed in their little swirls there. Really, really pleased with how this one has come up. I actually just had to stop the video then because hubby came home and I wanted to show him how his little soap bar came up. And if you look at this piece here, you've got that black and you've got all those little bits of speckles of grey through there which perfectly match in with that stone. So let's grab the next couple here and take another look. And we've pretty much got that same sort of swirl all the way through. That one looks like there's a great big shoe sitting in the middle of the soaps here. Really pleased with them. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made this Snowflake Obsidian soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. If you've got any questions, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.